Um, Growing up, I did not grow up in a Christian family. Um, my parents didn't go to church, but my mom always wanted me to go. And so my great-grandparents are the ones that really instilled church and all that in my life. I grew up in a Baptist church. I went every Sunday. I went every Wednesday. I went almost every day that the doors were open. If it was almost VBS time, even though I participated in VBS, I was there throughout the week painting the sets, setting up games. That's just where I love to be. When I was a lot younger, we also had like a summer class that was on Thursday afternoons, and I would walk from my grandma's house to church, and I would go to that, and I'd walk home. And a lot of those people were really big influences in my life at that church. But my great-grandparents are the ones that really influenced me. My home life wasn't the best. My mom loved me, and we got everything we wanted, but there wasn't a lot of emotional love and support. There was a lot of verbal abuse, and my stepdad was physically abusive, and so going to my great-grandparents' house and being at my church was my safe place. When I was 9 years old, I accepted Christ into my life. I was baptized that following summer, and it didn't feel wrong. It just felt right. I was home where my God was. I always brought friends. I always had someone with me when I went to children's church or Sunday evening or Wednesday evening. But as I got older, my home life was hard to separate from what I really wanted. It started to really get to me. Why did God give me this life? Why did, all those questions that start to formulate as you get older, that you really start to think about. Why would God give me a mom that has told me that she didn't love me? And why would God put me in a home where swearing and violence was okay? Sorry. So I didn't understand, and I started to confuse duty with the love that God had for me. I felt that if I did more for God, I would be blessed more. Or I would, something would turn around at home, something good would happen. Eventually, my mom divorced for the second time, and in between that time, I kind of got mixed up with some wrong people, and I always went to church still. I always had that. I couldn't let go of it, and I didn't want to. But I also did things that I knew that I wasn't supposed to and what I shouldn't have. And when I was a freshman in high school, I had an eating disorder. I felt like I was too fat, obviously. If you know me, I never had that problem, but I felt that way. So I would go through binges. It's called binge eating. So I would eat a lot of food. And then I would go weeks and not eat anything. And I went from a healthy 8th grade girl weighing about 115 pounds to a not healthy 90-pound freshman girl in high school. Eventually, my church had a fallout, and a lot of people left. I left right at the beginning of it, and I was searching for a new church. I looked for, off and on, kind of, I always wanted to be in church, so I found a church. I went to Hillside Wesleyan for a little while, maybe a year in total. But I just couldn't let go of being in God's house, because even through everything that I've gone through, there were bits of grace and mercy and blessing that would shine through everything that I chose to do and everything that I went through growing up. So I just felt like I needed that peace. I needed to hold on to that peace of Him, because if I completely let go, I knew I wouldn't ever come back. And God was always there. He was there when I was mixed up with the wrong people, and He removed a person that I believed was my best friend, but they weren't a good influence in my life. He removed them from my life, and I was angry and I was upset. But then God brought Kaylee into my life. And that was a friendship that I really needed. I needed someone strong that wasn't easily influenced. And I needed someone that knew who she was. And as I got to know her, I got to know her family. And it was like a family that I had never had before. So that really helped me grow up. It really helped me change. And it really helped me see that everything that I've been through helped me grow. It pushed me in the right direction. It pushed me to where I am today. If I hadn't come to this church and if I hadn't met Kaylee, I would never met my husband. And I think I'd still be searching today. I just want to share a verse with you that has meant something to me. When I was going through not feeling like I deserved anything and not feeling like I was good enough, I was kind of shown this verse. It's 1 Peter 3:3-4, and it says, "Don't be concerned about the outward beauty of fancy hairstyles, expensive jewelry, or beautiful clothes. You should clothe yourself instead with the beauty that comes from within, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is so precious to God." And that's just something that I constantly have to remind myself. I learned a lot through everything that I've gone through. I've learned that you can't set people on a pedestal. You can't completely look up to a human being, because they're going to let you down. And God created us all we're not flawless. We all make mistakes. And that's something that's really helped me in forgiving the people of my past, is that I could make the same mistake that they could, and I have made mistakes, some worse than that, they've made towards me or made in their life. So to this day, I can say that my relationship with my biological father and my stepfather and my mother have all been restored. I can look my mom in the face and tell her that I love her. And I can talk to her about things that had bothered me emotionally growing up. And she's apologized to me. So, that is my story.